What if becoming brilliant isn't about having some big, grand plan? What if it's an accident? Something that just happens because you're fueled by pure curiosity. We're about to dive into a totally different way of thinking, and it's all based on the story of one really unique person. So, the source material for this kicks off with this incredibly mysterious phrase, the one who was not meant to be. I mean, wow, it sounds like something straight out of a legend, right? But who could this possibly be describing? And what does it even mean to be a genius who wasn't supposed to happen? And that really gets to the heart of what we're exploring today. The person at the center of this is a man named Albert Tan. Through his story, we're going to see how true brilliance can pop up, not from some rigid blueprint, but from a life just lived with relentless curiosity. All right, so let's start by digging into who this person is. The source paints this picture that's just full of contradictions, and honestly, that's usually where the most fascinating people and ideas come from. And here is the central conflict, the real tension. On one hand, you've got this label, late boomer, and we all have ideas about what that means. But then you have the reality. This person is a thinker of the new generation. This clash is everything. It's about someone who just completely breaks the mold of their category, living in one time period, but thinking light years ahead. But see, this isn't just about age or defying a label. It goes way deeper. It's about a fundamentally different way of thinking. So how does this engine of curiosity actually work? Because the how is so much more important than the what. Okay, so before we go any further, let's get on the same page. When we say polymath, we usually think of someone like Leonardo da Vinci, right? Someone who deliberately sets out to master a whole bunch of different fields. It's this very structured, intentional thing. But this is where our model takes a sharp turn. The source gives us this amazing insight. For this kind of thinker, the driving force isn't some master plan to know it all. No, it's an internal state, a mind of curiosity and advancement. It's a mindset, not a to-do list. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. It shows how that mindset actually works. It's this simple but incredibly powerful loop. First, you just ask why about anything and everything. Then, and this is key, you follow the question itself, not some pre-drawn map. You find a way to connect that new thing you learned to something you already know. And then you just do it again and again, forever. So, okay, if the goal isn't to become an expert, how on earth does it happen? Well, this next part is the real secret sauce. For this kind of person, deep knowledge isn't the goal. It's just a byproduct, a happy accident. And boom, here it is. This is the big idea, the accidental polymath. Look at how different this is from the traditional definition. Knowledge isn't systematically acquired. It emerges. It grows organically out of that relentless, looping curiosity we just talked about. It's just what happens. The source material just nails it with this one simple phrase, polymath by accident. Think about that. It suggests that the state of brilliance isn't something you build from a blueprint. It's something you stumble into. It means that by just following what you're genuinely interested in, you could wake up one day and realize, wow, I know a lot about a lot of different things. All right, so this is a super cool story about one person, but so what? What does this actually mean for you and me? Let's bring this home and figure out how we can use this idea in our own lives. And the source couldn't be clearer about this. The whole point of this story isn't just to admire someone from afar. The key takeaway is right there. It serves as an inspiration that you can do it too. This isn't about some untouchable genius. It's a model for how any of us can live a more curious, more interesting, and bigger life. So here it is. This is the path. This is what you can start doing today. First, stop thinking about a rigid plan and start thinking about it as a pursuit, a chase. And guess what? You don't need anyone's permission to be curious. Start valuing the questions more than the answers. And the best part? It all starts with whatever you're already curious about, right now. And that's really the big question I want to leave you with. If you just let go of the map, if you stopped worrying about the destination and just started following the trail of your own whys, what incredible, unexpected version of yourself is just waiting out there to be discovered? What could you become by accident?